Merry Christmas, all my crafty friends. Today we're going to have some fun with a new crackle technique. I'll be using the Polyvine Craquelure crackle system and some simple food coloring. I'll be using a frosted glass technique to create a beautiful falling snowflake sky. Wait till you see what I do with this beautiful woodland Christmas ornament. So if you're ready, let's make a mess. I got this beautiful woodland scene cutout ornament base at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to turn it into a unique work of art. I'm going to use some craft plastic for a backing. I'm cutting it out a little larger than the ornament base, so I can adjust it a little bit if I need to. I made this stencil with my Cricut machine, and it's covered with snowflakes in all different sizes and types. I sprayed the back with a repositionable adhesive spray so it would stick nicely to my piece of plastic. I'm going to roll on some Polyvine acrylic glass frosting to make it look like falling snowflakes. I tried to paint it on, and I also tried to dab it on with a sponge. The absolute best results were by rolling it on with a mini paint roller. Also, you'll really need to spray the adhesive on the back of your stencil for the best results. This way you won't get any bleed under the stencil. I left the stencil on the plastic and gave it 8 coats, letting it dry about 15 minutes between each coat. The more coats you put on, the darker the white will show up. After I added my last coat, I removed the stencil. I'll set it to the side now and let it dry while I work on the wooden piece. This amazing product is water-based and available through DecorageNapkins.com, and I'm going to tell you about them in just a few minutes. Isn't that pretty? I'm painting the wooden base with some white paint and let that dry for about 30 minutes. I'm dabbing the paint on with a sponge so it doesn't drip over the edges. The sponge puts paint on thicker and more even than a brush, so one coat covered it sufficiently. And this is going to be very rustic, so a little bit of wood showing through won't break my heart at all. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. And why not share this with a friend? Thanks for doing that. Now it's time to crackle. I'm using the Craquelure 3-part crackle system by Polyvine. I'm painting on step 1, the base coat. This dries very fast, in about 30 minutes. It remains a little bit sticky, so don't let that fool you. I'm covering the entire ornament with the base coat. And this fabulous product is also available at DecoupageNapkins.com. DecoupageNapkins.com has such a great selection of rice papers as well as napkins that you can purchase one at a time. Rub-on transfers, molds, modeling clay, stencils, stamps, scrapbook paper, and much more. Over 6,500 products. And carry 3 new lines of paint. Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint, clay mud paint, as well as Pentart in a wide range of colors. They are wonderful to work with and send out their orders fast. They offer several automatic discounts when checking out on orders over $50, $75, and $125. Subscribe to the newsletter by entering your email address and you'll receive 10% off your next order. Make sure you check them out. I'll leave you a link in my description box below. Now here is where all the fun begins. I'm putting some of step number 2, the top coat, in a little bowl. I'm dipping a toothpick in some food coloring and then swishing it around in the top coat. It doesn't take much, as you can see. The more you add, the darker your color will be. The top coat remains translucent and doesn't become a full coverage paint, which is the beauty of it. I'm painting it on just the words Merry Christmas. It will crack when it dries and keep the color that I added. Now I'm doing the same thing but adding blue and yellow to create green for the trees and holly. This is a really fun technique and gives a completely unique crackle effect when dry. All the products products and tools I use and recommend in my videos have been tested by me. I won't suggest something that I haven't used myself. Each product will be listed in my description box below and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. Now I'm adding the step 2 top coat to the remainder of the ornament. This will take about an hour to dry. When dry, you'll see all the little cracks. Look at all those beautiful cracks. I especially love the way it looks on the tinted top coat. I'm using step number 3, the dark highlighter. I'm using a soft cloth to wipe it on and then wipe it off right away. It will remain in all the cracks, making them show up beautifully. This also comes in white in case you're doing a dark background and want your cracks to show up in white. Doesn't this just look gorgeous? You guys, tell me if you think you'd like to try this technique. You can use it for anything, not just Christmas ornaments. I'd love to hear how you would use it. I'm thinking it would look really pretty on some decoupage flowers. What do you think? I'm using a really stiff brush to dab on some white paint on the snow and 2 snowflakes. I'm just dabbing it here and there. I don't want full coverage because I want to still see the cracks. It gives the snow some depth and looks like hills. I used some Tuscan red paint to add 3 berries to the holly, and I'll let the paint dry for about 30 minutes. I'm going to seal this with some Polyvine decorator's varnish in a glossy finish. This product is very impressive and I've been using it quite a lot. This formula is somewhat heat and water resistant. There are several formulas and some are highly heat and water resistant. Polyvine is also UV resistant, so you can feel free to put your creations in sunlight without fear of fading. And this product can be purchased from decoupagenapkins.com. I'm going to use a wax rub in gold around all the edges to add a little golden shimmer. This is one of the nicest wax rubs I've ever used. It's soft and creamy and very easy to work with. It is also available at my favorite place, decoupagenapkins.com. Some of the tighter and smaller areas, I used a small paintbrush and some gold paint on the edges. The golden glow looks really pretty. I have more Christmas videos coming up. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of them. I'm going to glue my falling snowflakes to the wooden piece. I laid them together and adjusted exactly where I wanted it to be. Now I'll flip it over and mark a couple of spots so I know exactly where to lay it down once I have the glue on there. I'm OCD and just can't get myself to wing it. I have the need to mark and measure. I'll add the glue and then set the plastic. Decoupagenapkins.com also carries a full line of stencils, including some with snowflakes. This looks so cute. I let the glue set for about 15 minutes and now I'm trimming off all the excess plastic. I got some dark blue scrapbook paper and put it behind the snowflakes so they'd show up really nice in a dark sky. I added the glue to my piece and set it on top of the paper and cut off the excess, and I let it set for a few hours. While the glue was drying, I added some glass bead gel to the snow and the 2 snowflakes. This product is so cool. It goes on white but dries clear. Once it's dry, you can see all the tiny little glass beads in it, and they sparkle. I put it on with my palette knife at the tops of all the hill-looking areas and in the centers of the 2 large snowflakes. This fabulous product is available at decoupagenapkins.com. I let the glue dry overnight, and now I'm sanding off all the excess that is around the edges, making it smooth with the edge of the wooden piece. I'm adding a little more gold rub to blend in the edge of the paper and the plastic with the wood. I'm using my bow dabber tool to make a cute rustic bow for the top of this ornament. I laid a piece of small gold cord through the center, then layered 2 different types of burlap ribbon. I thought this twine and leaf ribbon just set the whole mood of this ornament. It looks so woodsy. This mini bow dabber tool works really good. It makes bow making so easy. I'll link it below in my description box in case you'd like to check it out. I used that same ribbon to add a hanger at the top, then glued the bow in place. I put together a playlist of some other tutorials you may enjoy. Click the picture on the right to be taken directly to that playlist. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner so you don't miss any future videos.